Hi there, I'm Tamara Glynn, and I'm an actress. So this started back when I was very young. It all started in the little Southern Baptist church that I was raised in. I was singing church solos in church, and around the time I was like 9 or 10, there was a local beauty pageant that was going. I'm originally from Arkadelphia, and I lived out in Caddo Valley. So there was this local beauty pageant that was, going to be in Arkadelphia and everything. And my mom said, "Do you want to do a beauty pageant?" And I'm like, "Sure, it'll be fun." My lifetime goal was to be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader until I was obsessed with the Dallas Cowboys football team. So once I found out back 100 years ago that they were only making $14 a game, the cheerleaders, I'm like, okay, let's reshift this and continue moving forward. So I started in the pageant system. Singing was my talent. I was also a very, very, very awesome baton twirler. I was in all the parades in Arkadelphia, and I would twirl 3 batons, and I was twirling fire, and I was also in a ton of twirling competitions. So I had won over 1,000 twirling competitions.
Wow.
So all of this is like leading up to the pageant, which I sing, and that was in our Little Miss pageant system. And then I went to state, and then I went to world, and that's just how all of this kind of, escalated. And it was something that I really wanted to do. And then I was doing more and more and more pageants. I did one actually down in Miami. Won that. I won a scholarship to the University of Miami. And I chose not to go. When you win a scholarship to the drama department, and thank God for Dr. Hank Deers at the time, I mean, what do? You're so young. How can you make a choice when you're 13 or 14 years old? Because in the meantime, I was in another city, and that's where an agent from Los Angeles saw me, per se, and he said, "Do you want to be an actress?" I'm like, eh. And my mom was always right on top. I mean, she was the Kris Jenner of back in the day. My mom was on top of everything. And so this agent from California, I'm like, you got to talk to my mom. She's right here. She handles like everything. So he talked to my mom, and I did a cold reading for him, and he's like, she can really go far. And he's like, I think you need to bring her to Los Angeles for a summer. Let's get her out there. Let's see where and how all of this transpires. And so that's what happened. We went to LA for a summer, and I ended up living there for 10 years. Halloween 5 was it was kind of a massive turning point. So I get to Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'm trying to read the script. I'm during all of this travel, and I didn't like the way the script said I was gonna die. And I'm like, no, I'm a little farm girl from Arkadelphia, Arkansas. I was raised on a farm. We're not gonna go down like that. So at the time, I'm 20 years old. It's my first feature film. And so it was a gut feeling. And where I got the confidence from, I guess ignorance is bliss. Because certainly in this case, I went to Mustafa Akkad, the owner of the franchise, the producers and the director and the writers, and I said, okay guys, we need to talk. I'm like, I don't like how my character dies. And I said, and they're like, oh really? And I'm like, yeah.
Really bold.
You know, I was bold. And I just really felt that I had the sense of her character so embedded in me already. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do one of these little cheap kills. If I'm gonna die, it's gonna be done the right way. And this is my vision of this. So thank you. They did listen to me. And it turned out to be one of the most remembered horror, death scenes cinematically. It's really funny looking back. It was my mom that introduced me to horror. And my mom and I, she was my rock. And when I got the call to do Halloween 5, to go in and audition for it, my mother is working for Michael Mann at this point. So my agent calls me up and says, hey Tamara, you have an audition for Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. I need you to run, pick up the sides, which sides are just, a few pages of the script. Your audition is actually tomorrow, so look over it tonight, prepare, and go in tomorrow and knock it out of the park. Let's book this. And I'm like, okay. And I was so excited to get that call because my mom and my family was the one that introduced me to the original Halloween. Yeah, in 1978. And I'll never forget hanging up with my agent and just going, Mom, oh my God, I'm gonna read for Halloween. No. And she's like, I'm like, no, it's Halloween. I've got to go get the sides right now. My audition is tomorrow. They're putting me on tape and they're going to send the tape off to Salt Lake City, Utah. And this is going to happen if I book it. And she's like, well, how in the heck can you do all that? Because I was packing to leave to go to Miami to have a cameo in the last Miami Vice ever to be filmed. Michael Mann called me up and he was such a huge mentor in my life. And Michael called me up and he goes, okay, Tamara. And I'm like, Michael, he said, do you want to do the last episode ever of Miami Vice? And I'm like, yes, sir, absolutely. So I went in to read for H5, Halloween 5 on a Thursday, and I flew out to Miami on Friday. And then I got the call when I was in Miami that I was going to be leaving almost immediately to fly to Salt Lake City, Utah to do Halloween 5.
Wow.
And that was crazy. It's like, how can I leave Don Johnson and Philip Michael Thomas to go be with Michael Myers? And I'm like, my God, I'm 20 years old. Okay. And I was so excited. I just couldn't wait. I mean, it was an honor working on Vice, but I could not wait to get to Utah. So in 2013, the co-founder of, now the director of the Hot Springs International Horror Film Festival, Bill Ballin, he and I brought that festival to fruition. So I think, and that was back in 2013. And I just have the sweetest story because there's a lot of people are familiar with Terrifier, the Terrifier movies. And so one of the, a group of the filmmakers that came down from Staten Island to Hot Springs, they also had a film in the festival. And they were when they got to Hot Springs, there was just so much energy the minute they walked in the door. and they became like my little brothers. They also did a lot of marketing work for me and a lot of promo stuff. And, I'm really happy to say they are Buzz on the Lens, Michael and Jason Levy, Steve Della Sala, and they're doing very, very, very well with Terrifier. And it's like a joke that I birthed the Levys in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and now their careers are going boom, 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 boom. And I'm in very close touch with them. I'm also out on the convention circuit with them during the Terrifier World Domination Tour. And a lot of their career and a lot of this started in Arkansas. The first convention I ever went to was Horror Hound Cincinnati. Jamie Lee was there. No, Jamie Lee wasn't there. John Carpenter was there. Norman Reedus. And here I'm still a little girl from Arkansas. It's my first convention. My mom had just passed away. And I was just like, what am I going into here? These people they've got tattoos. Why do they have tattoos? What in the heck? Why do they have body piercings? Why are they in body paint? And I'm like, who are these people? And it was just amazing. They're bankers, they're attorneys, they're school teachers. And it was just like such a beautiful wake-up call for me going, okay. And I've just continually, I did my first convention back in 2013. And just to understand the love and support and the depth of these people and how big of a family we really are, it's mystical, it's magical, it's such a beautiful blessing. And I tell people all the time, it would not, because when you go to a convention, you have your pictures set up from your movies, and the majority of mine, of course, are Halloween with some Terrifier stuff. It would not matter if I was a Bond girl, any other character, they're always going to go for Halloween, and then now Terrifier. So it's just, I'm having the time of my life. I'm just so blessed and so grateful to be here. My home state up here in Northwest Arkansas, and I'm so proud of Rock Hill Studios. Super proud. I went to their screening of House of Darkness that Rock Hill shot, and kudos to Blake Elder, his entire team. And I'm looking forward to some really cool things in the making with Rock Hill and Blake. I really, really, really am. And I'm excited for all the creatives in Arkansas to come together. And maybe that's just me because I'm older now, but I've got more of a sense of what it all looks like now, especially since, this is my life. This runs in my veins. It is my passion. I want us to all to come together. I want us all to put Arkansas on the map and just love and lift and support each other.